Oh.
Hello, students. Welcome back or welcome to the freshman cohort. It's good to see some of you guys again. This week, we're going to cover a little bit different of a topic than last. This week's going to be major and career exploration, as well as more details on those resources that we brought up last week. So once again, my name is Ian. I'm currently a senior here. I'm one of the pre-health freshman peer advisors. I primarily work with students on the pre-med, pre-veterinary, or pre-dental tracks. And I'll allow Sydney to introduce herself.
Hello again, I'm Sydney. I am a junior getting my degree in health studies with a science emphasis, and I'll be heading off to naturopathic medical school. And I'm also a freshman peer advisor, and I work with predominantly PT, OT, and PA. So good to have everybody back.
We'll also be joined by Shannon Kerr, who's one of our academic advisors, currently not in the room right now. Erin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep. My name is Erin Colburn. I'm the pre-health advising coordinator for the College of Health Sciences here at Boise State University. I work with these lovely people who are presenting tonight, and I facilitate and support the upperclassmen and application cohorts. And so yeah, we're excited to provide this information for you. Why don't we do Dr. Wood, and then we'll do Jenny, and then she can head off on this conversation.
Hello everyone, I'm Bob Wood. I'm the director of the School of Allied Health Sciences. I'm also the assistant dean for research in the College of Health Sciences. And
Right. And then we have a special guest today, Jenny Omberg from Trio. Go ahead, you're up.
I'm up. So hi, my name is Jenny. I am an educational specialist for Trio STEM Scholars. And I have been here at Boise State since March. We just started STEM Scholars program. Trio's been around on campus for probably 30 years. But STEM Scholars is new, and we are here to support many of you. So I just want to share about what our program does and yeah, how we might be able to support you. So we are a federally funded grant program. Some of you may have been a part of Trio in high school. There's Education Talent Search and Upward Bound are some programs that are Trio programs. Federally funded grant that supports first generation students, limited income students, and students with documented disabilities. And we are your bonus cheerleaders to help you earn your bachelor's degree. So supporting you on your diploma journey, we do, let's see, I can share screen, so I will, can I do that? I'll sneak in. So benefits of being in Trio STEM Scholars is we do provide additional, what I call bonus support, as you get bonus support from Erin. And your peer advisors as well, and Shannon. We have fewer students than any academic advisor, so we do offer the opportunity to spend more time with you to talk about things beyond what your academic advisors get to talk to you about. And we offer tutoring services, free one-on-one tutoring for mostly introductory level courses. It does go up to 300 level courses because some of those are still entrance into your programs. 2 classes a semester, up to 3 hours each. That is free to you, no cost to you, but your time and commitment there. Access to professional conferences and workshops. So we pay for your entrance student fees for those conferences to get you the opportunity to start networking with professionals. Financial literacy is a component that comes with our federal grant. We have social and cultural events. We've done some movies. There will be pumpkin decorating that comes up next week even for us. And scholarship opportunities as well. So there are certain scholarships that are available only to students who are members of Trio. So we certainly make those available to you as you would be a member of Trio. Additionally, we have a bit of a library that we are amassing of GRE resources, MCAT resources, study resource tools that would be allowed to be checked out by you as you work towards those future goals and your next degree program. So we do take applications year round for our program. As I said, we just started. We've got about 90 students and we should have about 120 students. So we still have spaces available. We're currently prioritizing applications for students who are both first generation, which means your parents do not have bachelor's degrees, and are of limited income. So if you receive Pell Grant, you would be in that category. If you aren't dual qualified with both of those, we still really appreciate you filling out an application, because as with a federal grant, we have certain numbers that we have to meet. So we have to prioritize applications in that way. But yeah, we're happy to have you apply. If you would like to have additional support, to have a bonus cheerleader on your side, to have additional resources available, yeah, give us a holler. Fill out an application and we'd be happy to talk with you about that.
Everybody will
That's
get
what
a
I got.
copy of the handout that Jenny is sharing on her screen. And then does anybody have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much for presenting that information. We
Thanks.
just wanted, this is a good target audience to kind of hit that up. If you know of any students in your that are not here, please feel free to share that information with us, and we'll send this out to every single freshman that we have on our list. So
Perfect. Thank you.
all right, Ian, go.
So we're going to be doing a quick little activity. We're going to be doing a values search. So if you, we are sharing the screen. If you want to scan the QR code, it's just like a really quick couple-minute thing where you can maybe find out something about yourself that you didn't know before. Yeah, so we'll give you guys a couple minutes. Samantha said things that correlate, finding correlations between your major and things that you value.
Does anybody want to share one of their values that they got?
Inner harmony. Do I have it
Inner-
now? Absolutely not, but I like it. Yes.
So inner harmony. So Ian said that he said inner harmony, and maybe that might be something to consider when thinking about what you want to major in, because you want to access that value or experience that value. Caitlin, thoughts? Anybody else in the room?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my microphone on my phone got water in it, so it's been a little iffy. But I think I agree with what Samantha said, that what we major in, or like what our future jobs like should be, like should reflect our own personal values, because if they don't reflect our personal values, then we won't necessarily be happy with what we're doing, and so that could lead us down a bad path kind of.
If someone has a value of family, right? What do they define as family? And making sure that the career path and the major they choose aligns with those values will help them be a little bit more successful. And your values actually have shaped your decision to come to Boise State and to major and to pursue careers in health. So we want you to keep that in mind as they start talking a little bit more about the next steps that might help you with that major selection, making sure that what you've selected right now makes sense. And maybe if you don't have one yet, how you might select. Go ahead, Ian.
All put a little meme on there, little GIF on there. You know, it's your first semester for most of you at college. And I'm sure you guys are feeling honestly kind of scared about the future and, you know, you're not really sure where it's going to take you. So I just want to let you know it's totally okay not to have it all figured out. I definitely didn't have it figured out at the time, and I still really don't have it figured out right now. You know, each of the pathways doesn't require a particular major, and I think coming in as a pre-med or pre-dental, a lot of students kind of have the impression that, oh, I need a biology degree, I need a health degree, but this really isn't the case. We'll kind of dig a little more into that later in the presentation. You have a lot of resources that can help you make a decision, or at least help, you know, spark some ideas. And right now is the perfect time to make mistakes, challenge yourself, and take chances. So before we dig a little more into that, we're going to have a nice presentation from Dr. Wood about some of the programs here in the College of Health Science.
You have to stop sharing, or can you see my presentation, Aaron?
Yeah, you'll have to stop share and reshare because you shared what you shared.
There we go.
Perfect. Awesome sauce. Look at that.
Aaron said I had 8 minutes. It's the only thing I can do in 8 minutes is boil an egg, but I'm going to give my best shot here, see what I can do. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the programs in the School of Allied Health Sciences so that you're informed about all the stuff that we do. And you probably know some of this, but maybe not. We really have 3 departments and a standalone program in genetic counseling. So at the undergraduate level, we have degrees in kinesiology, radiologic sciences, and respiratory care. And these are all great options for a variety of things, including pre-health professions pathways. Of course, respiratory care and radiologic sciences are also entry-level degrees that allow you to sit for licensing exams, you know, in respiratory therapy, and also in a variety of areas in radiologic sciences, X-ray, sonography, CT, MRI, and those sorts of things. So, but in these programs in kines, kines is probably, there's a bunch of different emphases in there, but kines is probably the one major on campus that is entirely about human physiology and function. And it's about keeping people functional. And so whether you're in a rehab science or a medical field, kind of the end goal is to keep people functional and independent and in high quality of life and those kinds of things, right? And this is the one major that this is actually the whole everything. That's everything in this major has to do with human physiology and function. So for that reason, it's a nice option. If you are kind of into like acute care, acute illness situations, and you want to manage that patient or help manage that patient who is acutely ill, who is really sick, who needs a lot of attention and needs to be monitored and all those kinds of things, if that kind of jazzes you, then respiratory care might be a nice option for you, okay? So, and Cindy could tell you a little bit more about it, I'm sure. This was an area of interest for you, at least at one time. And it's a really great profession, of course, much in need right now, as I'm sure you know. Radiologic sciences, if you like figuring things out, if you like, okay, what's wrong with the patient? Well, radiologic sciences is a great way to study and to move your career forward because it's all about diagnostic tools. It's understanding diagnostic tools like sonography, like MRI, CT, and all these things. And for this reason, this is actually they have a lot of success with people in RadSci going to PA school because they have such a strong background in being able to read and understand diagnostic information. So those are, just some strengths of those programs. On our website, we talk a little bit more. You can get in, you click on the different pathways if you want to get a little bit more information. You probably get that from Erin already. I don't think there's anything in there that you're not already getting from her, but there may be, I think we do make some recommendations. And this link right here, and I know Aaron does some of this too, we have a little, if you click on this, you can download this little graphic that gives you a whole bunch of different kind of careers, right, as your rows, and then our different programs as the columns. And a green dot means this is an ideal area of study for this profession. And a yellow dot means this is this is fine. This is a good area. Certainly would work for that profession. And if there isn't a dot, then we wouldn't currently recommend that particular program of study for that career. But the truth is, really, you can do anything. You really ought to study what you enjoy. I think that's the biggest thing, is to find something you like. But let me tell you a little bit about some added value items, what I call added value items to these programs of study. One is, of course, in radiologic sciences and in respiratory care, there's built-in clinical experiences. I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of hours of clinical experiences, right? And so that is somewhat of a strength to those. In Kines, you have an internship that's required. It's flexible as to what you do with it. If you were interested in PT or OT, that might be a better way to go, because the clinical hours you're going to get in these other programs are not specific to PT or OT, though you might interact with them. It isn't necessarily the case. Also, I think if you compared our programs to other programs on campus, you'd see really high percentage of the classes that you would take are taught by full-time faculty and PhD level full-time faculty. It's very high. I think on average, it's like 53% sort of the national average, like about half and half. But in our programs, it's much more like 2/3 to 3/4 of the classes. We have some pretty active student organizations, which are important for you, like the pre-med and pre-dent clubs that Aaron runs. It's good to have opportunities for leadership. That definitely scores you points on your applications. And so to be part of these clubs, you don't necessarily have to be an officer to demonstrate leadership, but you can be on committees and help with events and those sorts of things. So that's an advantage of these programs as well. And finally, I think because you have such interaction with so many full-time faculty, there's a lot of research opportunities in, especially in kidneys, but also in respiratory care, and a little bit rad science is coming along in that regard. And so all of these things are things that would really support the pre-professional development of the students. So those are some of the added value items of those programs. And I just show you this slide at the end. This is, you can't really read what's going on here, but on the left, those different bars or those different colors, those are the different degree programs in the college. And on the right, those are all these different healthcare professions. And what I want you to see is that there are people from every discipline going into every discipline. There's people from every degree plan going into every field. And it really is about finding something you enjoy, because it really, hate to say it, but, life is short. Things can change on a dime. And, was it the saying, life is what happens while you're busy making plans? Enjoy your life now, because it really, you can do any of these degree programs and still meet all of the requirements for the different pre-professional pathways. So find something that really works for you. Maybe it's faculty that you like, maybe it's other students in the programs that you like, but whatever it is that you enjoy, I think that should play a role. I just want to point this out to you. It's probably hard to see, but Aaron's gonna, I think, forward this to you. We haven't even given it to Aaron yet. This is hot off the presses. On Monday, November 15th at 6 and Wednesday, November 17th at 6, we're gonna have some different professionals come in and talk about, we're gonna ask them some questions. I wanted to give them some hot wings to eat while they were answering the questions, and really challenge them. But we're gonna ask them some questions about their career trajectory, what it was that they, how did their undergraduate prepare them well for that career? What would they have done differently? What are some of the things they did to make themselves unique? and what recommendations they have, those types of questions. And then you have an opportunity to answer questions too. And so on Monday, we have a PA, we have sort of a research scientist that works in a hospital, a DPT, we have a doctor of osteopathic medicine, and then Nick, who's over here in the wellness, wellness place at St. Luke's. On Wednesday, we have a DPT. We have a young woman who actually works for a pharmaceutical company now, Josie. Nick Hunt is a graduate student studying biomedical engineering. Then we have the department head of respiratory therapy and one of the faculty in radiologic sciences. So it'll be an hour session and we'll ask some questions that are scripted, but then we'll give you an opportunity to ask questions as well. So, and I think Erin will probably circulate that to everybody once we get it to her. I think we'll be circulating that in the next day or two. So I think that's it for me, but I'd be happy to answer if you have questions about our programs or anything, I'd be happy to answer those.
So any of the students in the room or in the Zoom room, if you have questions about these majors that we've started to showcase you, these are just a few of the examples that you can get in the College of Health Science that could be good fits for your goals. They don't have to be, but they are excellent options that might fit with those values we've kind of identified as well. Questions?
Kines was my degree. That's what I studied. A PhD, I studied aging and the autonomic nervous system and aging. And so it really surprises people when I tell them that I'm 90 years old. They think, wow, whatever it is I'm doing must be working. Yeah. All right. I'm just pulling my, can I just pull this out? I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? I'll get a nasty message.
I doubt you'll get a nasty message. Thank you so much, Dr. Wood, for coming tonight. Feel free to stay or leave or do what you need to do.
I have to run because we have a reception for Cody. And she's having a baby and she's busy. Cody works for the Blue Sky Institute. And so I'll get running with that. So,
all right. Thank you so
all.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Ian, put yours back up.
All right. All right. Another meme here. So the topic of our conversation is really going to be based around these three main areas. If you've ever had an appointment with me or with Erin, I know Erin loves to mention it too. Passion, efficiency, and parallel plan. Sometimes I call it something a little different, but this is kind of the gist of our conversation. So the first one is passion. So whatever you choose as your degree, you better enjoy doing it because your classes are going to be in that area. The most common example I kind of like to bring up again is that biology, chemistry sort of mindset for some medical dental students. And those majors are great, but if you don't love chemistry and you don't love biology, why would you narrow yourself down into a field of classes you don't enjoy taking? Kind of on the other end of it, if you enjoy health or if you enjoy art or music, you know, you get to take classes in the areas that you enjoy while bringing in prerequisites for the schools that you need. So just something to think about here. You know, some majors are more flexible than others in what you need, and we'll kind of talk about that next slide. So with efficiency, of course, some are more efficient than others. You know, if you take a health studies degree with a science emphasis, for example, you'll kind of see later on in the degree that there's different electives faced for those upper division sciences, psychologies. And like I usually say, that degree is really built for those pre-professional students. A business degree is, you know, a common one we'll see with some dental students. It's not the most efficient degree, but, you know, you need to balance the three areas of passion, efficiency, and parallel plan. So, you know, it works when you have the passion. It may not be as efficient, but again, it's all about the balance there. The last one's the parallel plan. This is kind of why there isn't like a pre-medical degree or a pre-dental degree. You know, what are you going to do if you decide not to go to medical school and you have a degree in pre-medical studies? So parallel plan would allow you to of course, go in another path if you choose not to pursue a career in the healthcare field or just a different career in the healthcare field. So again, it's important to think of those three separate areas and of course balance them when you're choosing your major in whatever steps you decide to do next, whether it's professional school or going straight into your career. We have a cool resource here at Boise State called Pathway U. It's essentially kind of like an assessment or survey that asks you what you value in the workplace and what you value personally. We do have a video that we'll share along with the presentation from one of our great staff members, Kelsey Nelson, who goes through that kind of explains what Pathway U is, why it's a great resource we have on campus. And no, if it places you with something you don't enjoy, you don't have to do it. There's no harm in it.
Cool. So piggybacking off of what Ian was mentioning about resources, I think that this little graphic is really cool because it kind of gives you a snapshot of just a couple of the amazing resources that Boise State has to offer for students. A lot of these I truly wish I took advantage of sooner in my undergraduate career. I don't know the 3 or 4, however many of you have utilized any of these resources, but I actually really encourage that you at least give them a try. There's nothing wrong with just walking into the Writing Center and seeing, what they have to offer. Same goes with the Math Learning Center and the CIC. I don't think it hurts to just give it a try, and maybe you'll end up, totally falling in love with something. I know for myself personally, after English 101 and 102, I thought that I had no place going to the Writing Center ever again, but then I ended up taking some courses later on in my career for the Honors College and found that the Writing Center was extremely helpful. And same goes when I was writing my medical school application essays. I sent it to them and they were super helpful. So a lot of these resources go kind of in different directions. They're not always, what you may think they are. So I encourage you to give them a little shot. And then go to the next slide. I'll let Emily. Let's switch.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. I am here to talk about the campus food pantry. My name is Emily Hester, and I'm the operations and sustainability coordinator for the campus food pantry. I'm also an undergraduate student. I'm studying business administration and sociology, and I graduate in 2 months. And I just want to reiterate what these two lovely humans have been saying. Please utilize the resources that are available to you. It's so important to have access to these things, and they're totally free for you. So again, just reiterating that's really important. So yeah, just to dive right into it, for those of you who have never heard of the campus food pantry, it's a pretty common thing that happens, but it is a free food resource for all students on campus. All you have to do is bring your student ID number, and you just sign in on an iPad, and then you're free to take whatever you'd like and however much you like. We don't have limits on the amount of visits or items a student can take, which is pretty uncommon for food pantries. So I think that's a really awesome thing that we're able to provide. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 in the campus school building in room 103. It's located right behind the ILC. So if you're ever over there, come swing by and take a look. Some common items that we have in the pantry are snacks, breakfast items, dinner items, canned fruits and veggies. We have a variety of different beverages, as well as flours. And then we also provide fresh produce, fresh bread, refrigerated items, and hygiene products. So basically everything you can think of, we have it. It looks exactly like a grocery store when you walk in. So it's very welcoming when you come in. And it is 100% run by students for students. So when you're going in there, you're seeing students there at the front desk there to welcome you. One question we often get is how we operate. So a little bit about us, we received almost $70,000 in donations this past year from Albertsons, Aramark, ASBSU, Chobani, and then primarily from our community donors. And then additionally, we spend around $2,000 per month on food. So all of this goes to purchasing items from Costco or Albertsons. So they're common items that you would see in anyone else's pantry. And then our hygiene products come from the Dollar Tree. We receive donations from different organizations across campus as well as in the community. And we receive about 6,000 pounds of food each month from the Idaho Food Bank. So we pick up weekly from them on Mondays. We provide, who we provide for. In September 2021, we provided for 566 individuals and 1,200 additional household members. And we had 1,248 student visits just in the month of September. So it is something that students on campus are utilizing, and you'll see your peers and people you know there as well. And we've definitely seen a huge drastic increase in students accessing the pantry come this semester, with just awareness being more of a thing. So I would highly encourage you to stop by as well. And then just to round it out, I have some contact information on here. I highly recommend following us on Instagram for any quick updates, and we share out products. So you'll see when we get like the fun snacks and stuff in. We have a weekly or a monthly newsletter that goes out, so you can sign up for that on our website. It just gives updates about the pantry and what's going on campus. You can visit our website for any and all information about donating, volunteering, getting involved, all those kinds of things. And then I also have the food pantry email on here, as well as my own if you'd like to contact me for any reason, whether it be about food pantry or just school and life in general. I love to talk to students about what's going on, so feel free to contact me. Is there any questions about the campus food pantry that I can answer while I'm here?
Are you always taking volunteers or?
Yeah, so we are always taking volunteers. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but we have opportunities Monday through Friday. We have a quick scheduler on our website, so you can choose what time works best for you. Essentially, that just helps us restock shelves and unload deliveries when we get them. And then additionally, we have group volunteer opportunities. So if you and like if your group, all of you here wanted to go and volunteer, you could do that and get involved with people that you know. So yeah.
Other questions from the Zoom room, or did raise your hand if you knew that there was a food pantry?
That's a great question.
Yay! Look at that. We had one in the Zoom room. Was there any in the room?
Yes, just about everyone. I don't know how to turn that.
Food insecurity and the concern of being able to have food readily available for you is a huge statistical thing. In other words, it's a big deal, and it can prevent you from being successful in your coursework because you're stressed about where your next meal comes from. This is one opportunity for you to do two things. It's a double-sided coin. On one side, it provides you that resource, so don't be afraid to use it. And second to that, you are expected to be a human being in your college community, so you can give back. It could teach you some values and lessons that might help you with your health profession field. And some of you may be feeling like, I don't know that I can gain patient exposure or observation right now. And as a freshman, I actually don't want you to stress about that. This is an awesome, simple opportunity to grow and learn. It's a resource available to you. So I don't want you all to forget that. Emily, of the resources you saw before the pantry, which ones do you use of the resources we shared?
Yeah, so I have utilized the Writing Center too. I found it to be very beneficial. I've used counseling services They're very welcoming, very amazing human beings and very kind. Same with the Gender Equity Center. If you ever want to stop by there, they're open and willing to talk to you about literally anything or just provide a safe space for you to be in. I utilize the pantry very often. Another one that I didn't see on the screen, but is very helpful is the Dean of Students office. They provide just student support in general, or if you're ever worried about anything, whether it be housing, homelessness, food, just anything surrounding your basic needs, the Dean of Students office can help you with that. And they actually provide a student emergency fund, which is a $500 grant for students who are experiencing some sort of emergency assistance needs. So whether that be paying your bills, paying for food, paying for gas, whatever you need, those funds can cover that. So that's an awesome, awesome, awesome resource with amazing people. I've worked with them for like 3 or 4 years now. So highly encourage going over there as well.
Number one exciting snack at the pantry.
Ooh. I'm a big trail mix person. So when we get the Costco trail mix in, I'm always right on it. Yeah, but just something to bounce off, Erin, what you just said. I spent all day in a webinar for Idaho Hunger and Food Security Summit, and we were talking about nutrition and the importance of health when it comes to food and what you consume. So I would just say this work directly correlates with what you guys study every day. So come by, come take a look at what we have. Please utilize the resource. Like I said, it's students for students. So you should hopefully feel comfortable coming in. So thank you for having me. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you. We appreciate your time. Okay. You're
Oh gosh. Is it still screen recording?
yeah, I can see your screen.
All right. So just to kind of reiterate some of the other resources, we've kind of mentioned this broad topic of, yes, there's a million resources on campus, but just to narrow it down a little bit, and I would love if anybody would share their own experiences, but looking on the screen, I've only listed 4. Have any of you guys tried out any of the academic resources thus far? Okay. And what did you think of it? What did you think of it?
I loved it. You sent them a little thing, just did your little write up your vacuum, and that's a great experience.
Yeah, and it was so quick. It was like a 24-hour, sent it in, got feedback right away. Awesome.
That was the writing center.
Yep. Caitlin,
Has
have you used anything?
Has anybody taken any science classes this semester where there were learning assistants available? Did they know that there were learning assistants available?
I've used
Oh no.
Anybody in the room?
And have they been helpful? Is it for bio? 227? 191? Awesome. Uh-oh. Is it bad to mute it? Oh,
I'm trying.
okay. So yeah, just to, put a little glimpse on each of these, learning assistants are super awesome, especially for those science courses. I tell students that the people who are learning assistants took the class, did well in the class, and now have a really good insight on, exams coming up and ins and outs of the course. So learning assistants are really awesome people to look up to, and, it's 1 hour every couple weeks that they usually spend with study sessions. So I definitely encourage you to reach out with them. And I know, even if you just shot them an email, I remember when I was in Bio 228, I was always emailing my learning assistant, and she was answering my questions right then and there and sending me help. So definitely recommend that. And I also just wanted to touch on that Career Services offers a lot of study skills workshops and academic coaching, which as a freshman could be really beneficial for you, because maybe you just haven't found the way that you study best, or you haven't found, the way that you're learning, something just isn't clicking. So going to the Career Services and trying out these workshops or getting some coaching done could really change your path in college. You may discover that you learn a way that you never even knew was a thing. So getting that experience now as a freshman, you're really going to set yourself up for success if you do that early on. I don't want you to become a senior and be graduating and look back and always wonder like, I wonder what was, in those study skills workshops, because maybe it could have helped you out a ton. Other thing I want to mention are self-help resources. Emily mentioned counseling. Health Services offers all different types of counseling. They offer something called the relaxation room, which, especially if you're living on campus right now, living with someone. I lived in Chafee and I had someone 5 feet apart from me at all times. Going and pulling yourself out and being in something like a relaxation room, what an awesome experience to be able to recharge your own battery. I don't know about you guys, but my social battery drains very fast. So for me, if my battery is totally out, there's no way that I'm going to go into class and just all of a sudden succeed and soak in all of this information. I need to fill up my own cup before I can pour it out. Other thing are the mental health skills tools. And obviously you guys are going to get all of this sent to you, but links are included in this. So I encourage you to look at the mental health skills tools that the university has laid out, because some of them offer a lot of really great advice and really teach you skills on how to cope and how to deal with the anxiety that's super normal to have as a college student. Last piece of the puzzle are career resources. So I briefly mentioned career services, but and again, we talked about Kelsey Nielsen. She and career services in general are really awesome resources to utilize for things like career counseling, building your resume. Maybe as a freshman, you haven't even started making a resume. So, maybe starting to make that now and getting some help from career services on that would be really valuable. Same with building a LinkedIn or preparing, down the road, or maybe you have a job or an internship opportunity at your fingertips and you want to prepare for that interview. Or same goes if you decide you want to apply to something like respiratory care. I took advantage of interview preparation in that situation. So career services really does offer a lot of resources that I recommend. Again, just try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to ever do it again, but trying never hurts. Career fair, that's awkward because that was yesterday. And I definitely
There's another one.
past that. Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, so there's a virtual fair on November 3rd, and many of the same folks will be there. It's a career/graduate one in the fall, so like sometimes graduate schools will come. But yeah, so yesterday was the in-person one, but there will be a virtual one. If you look at the career website, you can see those. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So that's another opportunity. Even I remember my UF class when I was a freshman, required us to go to the career fair. But honestly, it doesn't hurt just walking around, seeing what's out there, having some small talk with people. That's something that I wish I did more, was just going to things like career fairs and just interacting in those kind of brief, but burst instances where you're just talking with someone and going back and forth. Are there any questions about that? That was a lot of information about a lot of different resources and things that may be valuable to you on campus. Anybody have any questions? All right.
All right, now we've got about 7 minutes left. So I would like to open the floor. Anybody in the room have questions that they feel that they just need the answer to? Like they're in the middle, this is the middle of the semester. We're at middle week, right? We're like at that last we're gonna switch over to the next part of the semester. So any type of question, we're open, we're an open book here in a way, and we'd love to hear from you what you need to know that we aren't sharing with you.
I have them. Yeah.
Is there any resource that help with like time management or procrastination?
Totally. Those are things that you would definitely find in the career services workshops and literally just everything related to career services.
Yes. So I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna take the share screen powers. So we mentioned that there's a QR code in there. We'll be sending out the slides along with everything once we get the recording back. But if you go out, so this is the Academic Advising and Support Center. And they have a link on here that is just academic support resources. So if you go out here to that, there's a couple ways you can get what you were talking about or asking about. So number one, you can do academic coaching where they individualize it for you. So you can actually go out and set up an appointment with someone and they could do some assessments to see how you're studying and what you're studying and how you're managing your time and kind of trying to find out where maybe your weaknesses are. So that's one way. The other one is these study skills videos and workshops. So you can actually watch a video on your own time about time management. You can use some of those resources here. I'm waiting for it to load. So there's time management strategies. There's reading comprehension strategies. So they have videos that you can actually just watch and glean for information. In my experience, I know you can actually watch those at like 1.5 time and still understand what's being said. So like you can kind of speed through some of the pausing. But there's also tons of actual modules that you can go through on student lingo where they can like hone in on some of those topics as well. I love these. And then lastly, use your peer advisors. They're amazing. You wanna know why? Because they have been right where you were about managing their time and learning what works for them. So you can often ask them, well, what did you do to manage your anatomy physiology class? Or what did you do to manage online and in person and some of those things. So those would be the resources that I would strongly recommend that you tap into. They're free. And like I said, you could watch them on YouTube. You could be, going somewhere in your car and just listening to them like podcasts. So that would be a resource that I encourage you all to use for sure to answer that one. Other questions? The great question. Thank you. How are y'all doing? How's the semester going? Are we running out of air, steam, or do we feel excited? How are we all doing?
A lot.
It's a lot. Okay. We've shared with you tonight some things to do for self-health, and we've planted the seed about major exploration for you. But this isn't something that's finite, that you have to have it all figured out tonight. It's, hey, we want you to try something out. So maybe what you do is when you get the email from me with the QR codes and some of those things, you go out and you try one a week. Hey, I'm going to go check out this thing called the Writing Center. Hey, I'm going to go check out the workshops for time management. And do it one thing at a time. Don't try and throw the kitchen sink at it. And know that you are halfway through the semester. That's amazing. Look what you've accomplished so far. But please feel free to talk to any of us if you feel like that is not going well.
Awesome.
All right, well, that's what we have for you tonight. Watch for the recording. We'll send it off to you once I get it downloaded tomorrow.